Okay, welcome to lesson 61. Excuse me. H-rated 223 part-timers, promotions, and cume builders. Part 4 of 9 today. It's chapter 6.2, radio promotions 216 to 219 in Cullinan and Nash's Next Level radio book. And it's going to be quite a short lesson. The next three lessons, or for the lessons for the week, are quite short. So let's get into them. And don't forget to do the exercises that are included. All right. So let's look at just a beginning here. There are some references to, Valerie Giller's book that you do have for yourself, and some references from Tracy Johnson out there. Introduction to on promotions and contests that are used with the aim to draw in new listeners and get current listeners to tune in more often, which is something that we already have covered, and understanding that target markets can be increased in terms of something that's a little bit more enticing. Enticing radio can be compartmentalized into many, many elements and segments, but definitely one of those segments are great competitions, great promos, great moments, magic moments that we do create on air, and we service our listeners further by creating these moments, right? But how does it work for the vast majority, should I say, of listeners that are tuning in for entertainment elements, right? Such as music, with information that they get via news or our own news that we compile, part of our context and our content in our shows, even the personalities themselves, right? Many reasons, as I was saying, compartmentalizing the aspects of radio as to why people tune in are many, right? Well, radio promotions work to achieve some, if not all, of the following four objectives. Let's have a look. Well, number one is to entertain the passive audience, right? So for example, listening to a promotion, listening to a great competition, great winning moments, something that's maybe challenging as well, so that they can take part in, like we said or mentioned before, with, I don't know, guessing games, trivial knowledge, um, like standoffs between people that want to get a prize, whatever it may be, right? Or even entertaining in terms of them being able to listen to a listener, be funny or be emotional, or be charismatic, whatever it is. Anything that is something that we can consider a reason for them to listen longer, right? Listen longer and talk about the content itself. That's one aspect we do have to look at when we do create our competitions and our promos. The second is to engage research participants and get them playing along and therefore listening for longer and talking about the content, right? So when we say research participants, we are referring to people that might also, so we can be within our own station, right? We don't necessarily have to always hire a focus group or some, obviously people within our own, like I say, our own target market that can analyze, let's say, the successful nature or the success of our competition, but we can rather also just include people from our own station to go and analyze and give us a bit of feedback as well. To create platforms of engagement for brands and advertisers, right? Research participants, I'm sorry, can also be, people like the BRC can be extended out further, having some kind of obviously professional element there as well. Let me not just exclude that as well. There's many people that can add, and many sources, should I say, that can add to the research that comes into, again, once again, just kind of analyze that, break it down. Okay, to create platforms of engagement for brands and advertisers, right? So the on-air platform is the first and traditional platform where we can now evaluate this, right? The other one is obviously our landing page, right? Landing page is a reflection of what is happening on our station, and then obviously adds a whole bunch of bells and whistles around added content and added value, and add a bit of an added experience with our apps as well. But we can also look at our social media extension, right, and our existence and our presence there, and see what our digital marketing has been able to succeed in as well. And, how it's been able to reach out and have a reach to a larger audience, right? to gather detailed data on listeners to benefit both the station and its advertisers. And that's the big thing at the end of the day. Why? We want to be able to sit back and once again do a bit of a post-mortem. So be able to look after post-mortem, right? You obviously know that the word comes from, being able to think of, a dead body, and they do like a post-mortem analysis on like a body to see what was the cause of death, that type of thing. So we say it's a post-mortem analysis on what we have done from beginning to end. We sit with the clients, obviously we give them feedback. We explain how many of those objectives were reached and why they were reached in obviously great capacities or to great lengths to make obviously the client happy, right? All right, but also from a station perspective as well, want to be able to sit down with our teams, be able to look at lessons learned, were they implemented correctly before we started a similar project or a new project, and we were trying to, while we're planning this entire, like I say, activation. Did we sit down and at the end meet those objectives as those outcomes as goals that obviously encompass great success for our promotion, activation, competition, right? The thing is, yeah, what I was going to say, oh, I forgot. Damn it. Yeah, I'll remember now, right? It's probably just some extra. I was going to say BS, but no, it's just like an extra thought. It'll come back to me in a moment. Okay. The second way promotions work is by capturing the attention of the most important type of listener, the passive listener, right? Why is this important? Well, because the 99.9% of someone that is of our listeners that are not taking part in that game are listening passively, right? Okay. It's that one person or those few people that do enter the activation throughout the day or throughout the week or over 3 weeks that we roll out this entire promotion, right? Everyone else is listening and expecting to not tune out because it's a nice experience for them as well. All right, and the third way promotions work is by benefiting advertisers. So promotions and contests are often sold to advertisers as they can offer brands the following benefits. Number one is great on-air audience participation, which builds brand awareness. So you must imagine yourself phoning in. Let's say you do get through. That's also one of those things. Or let's say you do voice note, you do text, or whatever it is, and people, the on a team will select you and phone back immediately, like you're aware of this brand, right? But you're not only aware of this brand, you're locked in. So this becomes an experience, a life experience for you. Should it obviously lead towards you winning, it'll become a permanent life experience that you will talk about for quite some time, right? And remember, oh, that one time when I did win a massive, hamper from, I don't know, Lux or whatever it is, or Head and Shoulders, or from Sorbet or whatever it may be, right? But it was definitely the station. It was BMH Radio that gave me that, right? And I spoke to this jock. It was great. We had a great time on air, and it was a great experience. We got all this money. I can carry on, right? The thing is, you'll be locked in for life. Embedded brand messaging in the radio editorial. So obviously, while we are creating the competition has to be a big promotional gimmick, right? So being able to one tie in, let's say, when we said earlier in other lessons, why it's that someone actually comes to a competition to a station to promote. Um, on the station alongside, let's say, an activation or rollout, right? It's because the brand is either a new brand, right? It's an old brand, a legacy brand, or whatever it may be, but it wants to maybe create awareness around its new pricing, for let's say insurance policies, right? Or it wants to, promote a new product or Black Friday, which is coming up soon, as we all know, right? So they will partner up and make sure that, in every other way that they have already advertised via print, via TV, via, let's say, below the line marketing, let's say on marketing polls or on billboards or, let's say, pamphlets or whatever, handouts, it doesn't matter, right? We want to also extend that and kind of dominate in a particular area, in a particular space. So let's say want to be able to dominate this particular promotion, it's only branded with our product, as a client, right? Throughout obviously the execution of, let's say one execution where the DJ will go on and will start talking about the competition. They're going to be saying it's sponsored by Intech College, Intech College has now these great 2024 promotions that's something like 4,000 rand for the year or 2,000 rand for the year, with brand new courses up to 14 new courses that you can enroll in, and you can enroll in, immediately now. You can actually start at any time with intake. But my point is that, let's say we're doing a January promotion, right? It makes more sense to say that there for intake. All right, but we want to be able to, throughout the promotion, be able to do a live read, to play, let's say, produced ads, and then obviously have maybe a billboard or two uh, that that might be played. Okay, if we have a produced ad or we're doing a live read, that's more than enough, as well as the diction that is used and the vocab that is used within the copy that is written by our sales department. Okay. All right, various engaging ways to highlight the new products. All right, so we can obviously use the competition itself, which we normally do, to highlight new products, right? That are being offered, and we'll do that, like, let's say, for example, in a multiple choice, or can you give me the name of, or you've got to shout the name of, like, your favorite product, or the cheapest product out of the two products that I'm going to mention here, to be able to get a point, whatever it is, right? And then obviously we create an immediate connection to, let's say if it's a take lot competition, we know that, afterwards, well, maybe I do want, let's say, to buy, what would I buy on take lot? Okay, I would buy figurines. Um, but let's say it's figurines. Anyway, it doesn't matter. But they're holding, like, it's a half price special, right? And I didn't know this before entering the competition, but definitely now, also as a passive listener, will know. But also those people that are entering will now be able to immediately go and make a purchase or two. If they didn't win, maybe, and are not getting free, vouchers from Take a Lot. Okay, anyway, good communication of short-term objectives, very important from, let's say, from the business departments, right? Our sales, PR, um, and our marketing, to be able to give us instructions on air, right? What to do, right? And also to our digital team, what to do and how to roll out certain posts or whatever it may be, right? In the digital space, right? Online. But it is the directive on air. It's not directive on air. What is it that you need to do? You need to follow these instructions. There is the copy, as I said there. We want to be able to make sure that today we get winners for all, let's say, four throwouts or executions of the competition. Let's say during the day, um, and because our customer wants to have winning moments, right? Okay, so here is the brief. The brief has to be obviously well understood and obviously well executed by the jock or the honey jock, and then again, short-term objectives will also include, again, postmortem activities, like, for example, a producer or a presenter going to go enter in the correct information, notifying that particular winner of the process of what's going to happen next, that type of stuff, right? Creation of strong positive brand association, again, to be able to really, really, really tie in what it is that we're doing on air. Definitely push the brand. They have paid a lot of money to be able to allow this competition to happen, this promotion to happen, and think bigger scale. Like, so, for example, we're doing outside broadcasts, we're doing live experiences, we're doing things that really cost a lot of money. Right, at the end of the day, we might be paying for talent that is used in addition, like, for maybe it's a live show. I'm saying musicians are coming in, they're doing this, or maybe it's a business talk, so we're holding a bit of a conference. It doesn't matter, right? So we need to make sure that what the brand is paying for, they do see massive, like I say, ROI, return on investment. Listeners can be directed to a point of purchase. Make sure that there's a call to action at the end of the day. Go to this website. Make sure that you register here. Make sure that you repost this, whatever it may be. Okay. All right. Okay, let's look at the next slide. Finally, promotions work because data capturing has become a vitally important part of promotions and contesting, obviously, right? So as we do this, yeah, okay. So we do also find, we're gonna, well, this is gonna capture the information of winners, right? And people that do enter, perhaps maybe because they go into next rounds, they're going to like the final draws or whatever it may be, right? But we also want to be able to be aware of, of what people are saying online and how they're interacting online, definitely, so we can get that immediate free, data and data capturing, data analysis that we can do from information that is yielded from people's participation online, right? Okay. We definitely can also, once we can have very small, if we have a lot of money, like I say, commercial stations can do this, right? They can always have someone on, what is the word I'm looking for? On retention, right? We have a bunch of listeners that can be used for retention purposes. Maybe you don't have money, but you might have also barter. We can barter stuff like, for example, giving them vouchers. We can give them like movie tickets. We can give them whatever it is, and as long as, let's say, once every week or maybe once every 2 weeks, they're checking in, they're listening to what's going on air, they're giving us also some feedback on content and all the other things, but as well can also give us feedback on the competitions or whatever it may be, right? But let's say looking at online, we'll be able to see whether or not people did understand competitions, they did enter them, they did share. We got basically the analytics for engagements and that, so that we can also have a look and see what worked better in that sense, and also once again also be able to brag back to the client and say, okay, look, like what you wanted is here. There's a whole bunch of new, let's say, followers, a whole bunch of new subscribers. There was plays, there was shares, there was downloads, there was this, whatever, right? Okay, and then obviously we'll see what happens, obviously in the store, right? Hoping that whatever we have pushed. Uh, has increased their sales, right? Okay, at the end of the day. So use Luntz, okay? A Luntz checklist to make sure that the passive, active, and advertisers uh, be benefit from a radio promotion. Okay, so using Luntz checklist. So what is the checklist? Every radio station promotion should be evaluated against the following criteria. Will it increase the ratings, right? So, in other words, again, so ratings, want to have more listeners that are within our target market, that are in our feeder area, that are sharing the same, again, lifestyle as our core audience, right? Have we increased on that? Okay, would create any type of awareness. So how, again, we have to be able to make a tangible test on how the awareness is created. Are people wearing our shirts? Are they wearing our shoes? Are they wearing our panties or our bras? Or are they, eating our food? That type of stuff, right? So did it create any awareness? Was there any response? Was there any give back in terms of if it's a charity thing, um, a charity promotion? It doesn't matter, right? Was there awareness? Okay. Will it help establish a personal relationship between the station and its loyal listeners? And will it generate sales revenue at the end of the day? The three key stakeholders, obviously, as a passive listener, an active listener, one that obviously engages in, does SMS, does WhatsApp, does voice note, does phone in, does enter online, right? That's the active listener. Brand or advertiser, as you know. So using the checklist, make sure that the passive, active, and advertiser benefit from the radio promotion. Here is Michael Hedges' comprehensive promotional planning checklist. One more checklist, yeah. Excuse me. Number one, the promotion meets the marketing objectives, right? So when we want, obviously, develop the promotion, we look at, let's say, there's a big, obviously, analysis. There's obviously analysis. I say, the in-store analysis. It's in-house analysis, right? From both the client and obviously the station, right? We're going to sit together for us to be productive and on the same page. We're going to understand what the marketing objectives of this particular campaign, and one, obviously, are they in line with the marketing objectives that are in a marketing strategy for that particular client at a particular stage. And so that particular there, I'm going to use particular a lot because I want to be quite particular in saying specific, right? So let's say that the client will have their marketing plan or strategy, right? Part of their marketing plan is to obviously include a radio, like a radio executions and obviously radio presence, right? And then that is obviously like there are sub clauses and sub points, whatever, sub details, right? that will roll out into our marketing strategy, right? That will coincide at some other points. We have a marketing strategy for the station, right? As one, but then obviously we'll have a marketing strategy and a plan for a particular rollout of a like I say, an activation, right? Yeah. So we will have predetermined these things together, right? And also apart and then brought together. But then obviously we have that as a checkbox that we have to again do in the post-mortem analysis and post-mortem kind of deprecation where we what's the word I want to say, decompartmentalize the entire like I say, promotion. See, like, did we tick the boxes, that type of stuff. Again, did we stick to that throughout the actual um promotion itself? Okay, anyway, the promotional idea chosen is one that is most likely to succeed. Okay, right, obviously, right, that I don't I'm not going to say much more in that. How do we do that? Well, you are professional at the end of the day, right? You must be able to sit there and work out, like, from beginning to end, how this competition is going to sound on air and how it's going to work, that you don't, like I said before in a previous lecture, don't end up in a like a dead end, right? It doesn't all of a sudden work. It looked like it was working. It will work, let's say, in the maybe first week, but as we move to, let's say, filtering some of those winners down, it's starting to hit like a brick wall. It's not great. We're going to have to turn back and do something different, right? So you're going to go and work on an idea that actually has no complications, is simpler, is better, and again, more memorable and prominent at the end of the day. Okay. The promotion is simple. As I said, the rules do not take longer than 30 seconds to read out. Right, please. Anything that is uh, is more than that is going to be confusing, right? And also people will get lost in translation, right? As we know from the audio platform, right? Okay. Then each step is thoroughly thought out of, as I explained just earlier in the previous step, right? Or checkbox. The listener will feel that the time and energy that they invested was definitely worth it. Okay, so even if they didn't win, they put in all that if they were like, oh, maybe I'm disappointed, but okay, maybe I'll do it, try again tomorrow. That's one kind of litmus test to say, okay, well, listen, I definitely felt like the prize worth winning. Definitely the execution or the elements are easy to understand. I have a good chance of and a fair chance of winning. And it was time well invested. I listened to the honest stuff. Whoever did get through, it was fun. It was cool. It didn't take away from me, right? And end of the day, right? The promotion is secured publicity. Okay. All right. So let me just grab roll here. Please me. Right. So let's listen to the audio example. I can do that quickly before I move on. I just want to see. Let's just get this picked in. While it opens up, I'm going to look at activity 6A, 218. Okay. So activity 6A, these are the three questions. So explain what the acronym PUBI stands for. Explain what it stands for. How does it differ from the widely used acronym FUBI? Right. And why was the second B included for the radio perspective? Right. Remember, bold and beautiful. All right. Two, name three advantages of promotions for a radio station. Explain the differences between passive and active listeners. Which type of listeners does any radio station have more of? Okay, so that's a really easy exercise that you can go have a look at. Just want to have a look at this website. Just quickly, just want to stop the share and just reshare with you. Share what is happening. Where's my thing now? Okay. Right, so you can see that this is the first link here. Okay. The top 10 radio promotion ideas around the world. So the top 10. Okay, start here. Okay, so let's have a look. Cork's Red FM. We'll just do a few. The chosen one over the course of this promotion, the station gave a total of $35,000 to its lucky participant, catapulting it into the public eye. Sydney Kiss FM Hyundai giveaways. So they're giving away cars during this promotion. 12 Hyundai i30 cars were given to callers on the show. Within 24 hours, the station received significant coverage online, in press, and on TV, with a total of 1 million calls received. So you can see that obviously we have a lot of interaction. Remember, it's about that brand awareness. It's about people entering, people winning great prizes, having great moments. Imagine winning yourself a paid for brand new Hyundai car. Like when you put it into your mind, you actually imagine yourself in the new car. You're like, oh, yeah, this is definitely worth trying. Like sending in a WhatsApp or whatever it may be, the mechanism, right? Please, the mechanisms really have to be easy. Oh, you have to jump. If you make people jump through hoops, like subscribe to this. Is also, I told you in the previous lesson, it's very annoying anyway. Be careful of just the entry mechanisms. Okay, anyway, Munich's Radio Gong, so talent show. In an interesting turn of events, contestants were asked to perform on Munich's railway, the S-Bahn. Bachna, right? Okay. Anyway, this saw artists go head to head, attempting to win over the hardest of all juries, the passengers. That's pretty cool. It's fun, but you have to visually see this as well, right? The aftermath of this promotion saw listeners and the figures rise and resulted in a German radio award for best innovation. Okay, I'm not going to go through all of them. Right, just very important. These are cool tips from Niall, who I'm guessing is the writer of this. And I sound very uninformed, but anyway. Okay, keep it simple. Definitely, like I said to you before, please no jumping through hoops, right? It's really annoying for the listener. 10 to 1, they won't also win the prize, right? And a lot of people won't want to jump through hoops. Make it really easy. Every concept can be made your own. So you can take these ideas, for example, right? So no one ever said you can't copy, right? Copy, alter and paste, right? Take any one of these and actually go and say, okay, look, let me just make it an original idea that was, there was an exact execution of it somewhere else. That's what they do anyway. They buy. I told you stations buy promotions. Make your own. Okay. Right. Don't obsess over the prize, right? It's easy to get lost in the reward. Make sure that the experience is something that they can remember. 4, have a functional and flourishing creative team. That goes without saying. Give it the full 360 treatment from on air to online to the street to your promotional methods, having a big impact on overall courage, and have fun. Okay, go have a look at it. Let's say Harley and Jack O show. All right, so what was that share there? Stop the share. We go back to 61. Okay, and then you can go and have a look at, right, oops, we got this particular radio promotions blog. All right, I'm gonna leave it at that. Let's see you in the next lesson, 60.